Alexa Boban. Number 2, Nora Falcon. Number 9, Ella Hendrick. Number 15, Aubrey Townsend. Number 30, Jada Martin. Number 13, Megan Hill. Number 11, Morgan Cyphers. Number 16, Anna Grace Steer. Number 17, Maggie Guy. 12, Lauren Simpkins. Your reserves, number 5, Emily Page. Number 18, Kennedy Dixon. Number 20, Bree Jones. And number 27, Addison Smith. Your head coach, Mitch Vance. Now for your Archbishop Chappelle Chipmunks, starting in right field, number 21, Addie Stein. Your center fielder, 00, Allie Domang. Left fielder, number 2, Marie Rowley. Third baseman, number 5, Cam DiMaggio. Your shortstop, number 26, Katie Delatte. At second base, number 18, Delaney Trustler.
Live from Butch Dewey Playground in Chappelle Field, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana High School softball. Today it's a Division I Select Regional Round matchup as the number 5 seeded Archbishop Chappelle Chipmunks play host to the 12th seeded Captain Shreve Gators. And a pleasant good afternoon to you, turning into evening here in Kenner as the Chappelle Chipmunks against Captain Shreve, in which should be a good matchup, a 5-12 matchup. Captain Shreve coming in with a record of 21-7 overall, and Chappelle at 25-5. A banner year for the Chipmunks, winning a district championship for the first time since 2005. Scott O'Brien's done an outstanding job. It's great to welcome a good and great friend and a Hall of Fame coach at that. Has a great ring to it. Jerry Nugent with us today. Jerry, first and foremost, thanks for being here, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame honor.
Oh, thank you, Ken. It's been a great week, hearing from a lot of old friends and all, but I'm really excited about this matchup between Chappelle and Captain Shreve.
Well, it should be a good one. All right, now we're going to pause as fans are being asked to rise, remove their caps as we get set for the playing of our national anthem to get things started here this afternoon in Kenner. Beautiful afternoon here in Kenner. Starting lineups, first of all, for the visiting Gators of Captain Shreve under the direction of 8th-year coach Mitch Fant. Leading off at third base is Alexa Baudouin. Batting second at second base, Nora Falcon. It's Ella Hendrick pitching. Cleanup hitter, Aubrey Townsend, the catcher. The 5-hole hitter and shortstop is Jada Martin. Batting sixth is the designated player, Megan Hill. In right field is Anna Grace Steer. Batting eighth in center field, Maggie Guy. Hitting ninth in left field will be Lauren Simpkins. And the flex player at first base is Morgan Cyphers. It will be Baudouin, Falcon, and Hendrick, Townsend, Martin, and Hill. Steer, Guy, and Simpkins. Cyphers is the first baseman for the Chipmunks of Chappelle under the direction of Scott O'Brien leading off in center field is Ali Domang. It's Delaney Trosclair at second base. Kayla Jardina is the pitcher. The cleanup hitter and catcher, Kelsey Schmidt. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Mia Impostano. Hitting sixth at third base, Cameron DiMaggio. Batting seventh, the left fielder is Marie Rowley. Hitting eighth at shortstop, Katie DeSlatt. Batting ninth in right field is Addie Stein. Top three, Domang, Trosclair, Jardina. Middle three, Schmidt, Impostano, DiMaggio. Bottom three, Rowley, DeSlatt, and Stein. Chipmunks are on the field defensively with Rowley left, Domang center, Stein in right. It's DiMaggio third, DeSlatt short, Trosclair second, Pistano first, Schmidt catching. On the mound is Kayla Jardina, and Jerry, she's been terrific. Over 500 strikeouts now. She accomplished that in a game in which she pitched a no-hitter, no less.
That's just an amazing season for Kayla this year. Her numbers have been speaking for themselves, but just the college commit here, just coming into her own in her junior season and just really helped lead Chappelle to one of their best seasons in arguably the last 20 years.
First pitch of the game is swung on and missed. We're underway quite early at 4:54. Glad we started early. It's 0-1. Baudouin hitting .337, 2 homers, 28 RBIs. The next pitch on the way, and that's a fastball strike called again, and it's 0-2. Jardina gets ahead right away on Baudouin. This is a good hitting Captain Shreve team. The numbers suggest that. 0-2, swing and a miss. So good morning, good afternoon, good night, and a great start for Jardina.
Yeah, and she's known for liking to work fast, and obviously 3 pitches, 1 out. That's kind of her calling card there. So she's right on schedule for her first playoff game of the season.
Nora Falcon, the second baseman, at .298, no homers and 22 driven in. Straight up defensively, cheat in at the corners, as you'll see in softball. Pitch on the way and a swing and a miss. Good rise ball there, and gets ahead 0-1. No contact yet.
Yeah, and Giardina, she's good at mixing her pitches. That rise ball, but the combination of her spots and her velocity makes her a real tough pitcher to hit. If you don't get her early, it's going to be hard to.
Bunted toward first, easy play, and the catch made by Impostano for out number 2. So quickly disposed of by Jardina, and you look at her numbers on the year, they're very impressive. She has a record of 18-3, a 1.67 earned run average, and 121 innings, only 76 hits allowed. 29 earned runs, 37 walks, and 218 strikeouts. The whip, not too shabby. 0.93. Hello.
Not too shabby at all, and just how quickly she's working right now. I mean, her pitch count's real low, and she's already has 2 outs in the first. It's that's going to make for a long day for Captain Shreve if they can't try to extend these at bats a little bit.
Strike to Ella Hendrick. It gets ahead once again, does Kayla. Here's another. Nice pitch, swung on and missed. Boy, dropped that one nicely. It's 0-2. Change speeds a little bit. She's good at that.
Oh, the speed change and then the location change. Like you saw early in the count, she went up, she went down. Just, been excellent at mixing her locations and her speeds this year.
0-2 pitch. Fouled it back. Rise ball. And Hendrick able to get the bat head up to it. Stay alive. As Jardina trying to have a quick inning. Tell you all about this ballpark at Butch Dewey when we have the opportunity. Kayla's not giving us much of a chance right now, but we'll have time between half innings here. 0-2 the count. Pitch on the way and a swing and a foul back, so battling here. Hedrick able to stay alive.
And Hedrick's one of their more experienced hitters, with a 356 average on the season. She's been a good contact hitter, being able to kind of get a few foul balls there, extending it that a little bit. It's a good run by her, laid off the rise there.
That's the first ball thrown by Kayla, and it's 1-2. Just underway, top of the first inning here from Butch Dewey Playground, Chappelle Field. You're at Butch Dewey. And time called. Pointing at someone to move back something on a piece of equipment that's out of the dugout. That's what it was on the Shreve side. And they remove that and get it back in the dugout. Mitch Fant, the fine head coach in his 8th year of the Gators. Swing and a miss. Good rise ball. What an inning.
Excellent pitch.
What a start for Jardina. She takes care of Captain Shreve with nothing across in the first inning. So on to the bottom of the first. And the Chipmunks coming to bat will set the defense for you with Simpkins left, Guy in center, Steer in right. It'll be Baudouin at third, Martin short, Falcon second, Cyphers at first with Townsend catching. On the mound is Ella Hedrick for Captain Shreve. And Hedrick in her own right has pitched well this year. She comes in with a record of 12-5, an earned run average of 2.44. She has a save in relief as well. 23 appearances, 17 starts, and she's thrown 106 in the third innings, has 156 strikeouts, so Hedrick has pitched well. Only common opponent for these teams, Carr. Both teams beat Carr 15-0, for whatever that's worth. All right, so this ballpark, Jerry, it's Chappelle's Park. They partnered with the city of Kenner. Mus Bertolino has Mount Carmel now, and Chappelle has Butch Dewey. Dominican has Harahan Playground. So this is a nice facility, isn't it? And
yeah, you're right, Ken. And I'm just sitting here beaming, watching this with the big Chappelle sign out in center field. And I remember when I coached in the Catholic League many years ago now. It doesn't seem that long, but many years ago, we were all playing our games at JPRD. And, you know, we started out at the City Park softball quad, and then those places were very accommodating and very good for us. But it's amazing how the partnerships between the cities and the schools have kind of progressed over the years. And now, I mean, these are very competitive ballparks for the high school game now.
It's terrific, and kudos to the city of Kenner as well for helping make this happen. And today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market. Must be a reason. Hedrick taking her warm-up tosses. Captain Shreve in their road grays here today. Both teams' primary color is green, so I'm dressed appropriately.
Absolutely.
I always try to be neutral in these games, but today was easy, as I was telling Scott O'Brien and Mitch Fan earlier, and it worked out very well that their colors are similar in that regard, and we're set to go in the bottom of the first. Ali Domang will lead it off. This Chappelle team still has some young players on this team. They've got a really good future, don't they, Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you look at their roster, very, very few seniors. The ones they have been very, very productive for them, but just a good young nucleus that, this team's going to be a factor for years to come. As you stated earlier, their first private school league district championship since 2005. I actually believe I was on the losing end of that championship game back in the day. But
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Certainly, proud to be a part of history as always.
Leadoff hitter is Ali Domang at .388, a homer, 26 driven in. She takes a changeup for a strike call, and it's 0-1. So starting her off speed. Domang, catalyst for this club.
And I had the pleasure of watching Chappelle play earlier in the year in actually the Hornville tournament. And Domain was just an absolute beast in the tournament.
Towards short. Got to get rid of it quickly, and does. Good play by the shortstop. Martin for the out. One gone.
Real nice play there. Like I was saying, Domain, like you said, is the catalyst for that team. She with that .388 batting average, she just does all the little things that a leadoff hitter needs to do.
Domang, a junior. Now Delaney Trosclair, she's a junior as well. She's been terrific. Two-way player, .454 with a homer, 29 RBIs. Gaudy numbers for Delaney. Pitch on the way. And that's a ball a little bit high, 1-0.
Yeah, and I think with Carr, you just Carr, that was their recent opponent.
Yep. With
Captain Shreve, you just have to kind of keep your composure here. You're on the road. You're just coming off your first playoff win in quite a while. There's a drive to left fielder back over ahead. Rounding first, ending for second, Trosclair. The throw coming in, not in time. Stand-up double for Delaney Trosclair. Trosclair doing a really good job of. She waited. She got her hands through on an inside pitch, met it out in front of the plate, and just drove it right over the center fielder's head. Exactly what you're supposed to do when that inside screwball comes in like that.
And I should mention, ball's going to carry extremely well, especially in that direction. The temperature at game time, sunny skies, 78 degrees. The wind is out of the south at 17, means it's blowing out toward left hard. So anything in the air that way, look out.
Yeah, beautiful weather, but definitely to the hitter's advantage out here right now.
Kayla Giardino at the plate, takes it high and away. Kayla, of course, the outstanding pitcher and a good hitter at .375. Leads the team with 3 homers, 24 driven in.
Yeah, just a great athlete in general. One of their leading hitters, obviously one of the state's best pitchers, and a great opportunity right here to help herself out in the first inning with a runner in scoring position.
1-0, changeup popped up just to the center fielder, making the catch is Guy. Nice off-speed pitch. Had her off balance with her swing a little bit and pops out to center for out number 2.
Yeah, excellent job of changing speeds there. Got Kayla probably a little bit aggressive there, trying to make something happen. And real good pitch to come in with early in. And I used to tell my pitchers to try to hold their change up to later in the game. But right there, I think that was a great choice by the coach to call that pitch there.
There's Kelsey Schmidt, the catcher. .374, 2 homers, 32 driven in to lead the team. Cleanup hitter. First offering. And that is outside for ball one. To Schmidt.
Yeah, and Schmidt has a lot of pop. Watched her hit a couple of times over the years. Got to see her play live, followed her. Lot of power, a lot of good contact. Again, Chappelle in a real good position when we're in scoring position.
Change up low, 2-0. Of course, they have a base opener. And Schmidt, what a future as a freshman. She's just been brilliant.
Just amazing for a freshman to put up the numbers she has in a 5A Division I program. That's just a testament to the player development that Chappelle's been doing all the way up.
2 balls, no strikes, pitching her carefully, obviously, in this situation. Another. And it's 3-0. So, again, with the base open, it doesn't look like they're doing a whole lot.
Yeah,
to give Schmidt anything.
And I kind of agree with the strategy here. If you have an open base with a hitter like this up, I wouldn't fool around too much. If she's willing to chase, so be it. But with an open base, pitch around her and go to the next person.
3 balls and no strikes, and that is strike over the outside edge. It's 3-1. Should mention that the umpires are from the Hammond Association here this afternoon.
This crew here I'm very, very familiar with. Over the years, I've had them do many games and tournaments and playoff situations.
3 balls and a strike on Schmidt with a runner second and 2 outs. Schmidt took it, change up. That's a strike at the knee. So what I like so far about Hedrick is the way she's changing speeds.
Absolutely, and that's what you really have to do at this level to get it mixed up. You know, when you're in this second round area, everybody's a good team. Typically 1 through 9, everybody can hit. You really got to try to keep the hitters off balance.
Took it high. Runner for third. She is safe at third. So a walk and a stolen base will put runners at the corners with 2 outs.
And I like the strategy by Chappelle there. You know, obviously everybody's thinking they're pitching around the hitter there a little bit. Kind of try to catch the other team off guard. They're thinking about what's going to go on with the hitter at the plate. Take third base now. You're in a position with, you know, and here's the problem with pitching around the other hitters. Impostata's up right now, who's had a monster year with a 310 stint and some really big numbers there.
He has got an incredible future as well. 310, a homer, 24 driven and showed bunt. Runner breaks for second. She is out at second base, and the inning's over. So Chappelle ran out of the inning. I'm wondering if there was a missed signal there.
It looks like there might have been some kind of a miscommunication. You can tell Coach O'Brien's speaking with his runners right now. Typically in a situation like that, if you're gonna steal second, the runner on third's gonna go if the catcher releases the ball. But
precisely,
must have been a little bit of miscommunication there. But it's the playoffs; nerves are out there a little bit. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's a situation where you don't really want to take the bat out of Impostata's hand, do you?
I would tend to think not, and just knowing Scott O'Brien the way I do, I feel like it might have been a misread signal. However, you know, be that as it may, you know, you got your stud pitcher coming back out on the mound to take care of business.
No scores. We head to the second inning here. And Trey Hanlon with Jerry Nugent. And here in the second, it will be Townsend, Martin, and Hill to the plate for Captain Shreve. And again, we mentioned the common opponents between the two, just one in Carr. And you draw a little bit of a conclusion. Mount Carmel defeated Bird 15-0 in the opening round. They play in the same league as Captain Shreve. Captain Shreve during the year beat Bird 11-0. So it gives you a little bit. We looked at this matchup, thought it would be a pretty good game, and that's why we picked it.
Absolutely, and you have to be careful a little bit when you're looking at common opponents and same district kind of thing. This is the playoffs. And again, I've always said once you get past that first round, which right now we're in this regional round, at this point everybody's proven their worth and everybody's ready to play and everybody's motivated. So I would expect this one to be a good one.
Here is Townsend, the catcher, the cleanup hitter, 422 homers, 29 RBI. First pitch, a swing and a miss. There's that hot up in the zone again. It's 0-1. Hard to catch up to.
Yeah, Giannini has really got her velocity going today, and she keeps mixing those locations along with that velocity. It's going to be a long day for Captain Shreve.
0-1 to count. Check with Jerry. It's high, and it's 1-1. That looks great. If you leave it there, we might just accidentally find it.
There is no doubt.
1-1. I'm just saying. in this town, jambalaya. Are you kidding me? It smells so good coming up. 1-1 swing and a miss. There it is again.
That rise ball is just, it's so hard to lay off at that velocity. It comes in, it looks like it's going to be a hard strike down the middle, and then it just goes right over your hands. It's in my opinion, still the hardest pitch in softball to hit.
Agreed. Swinging a foul back to the netting, holding at a ball and 2 strikes on Townsend, starting the top of the second inning with no score.
Townsend with a 500 on-base percentage. That shows you she doesn't just hit the ball well. She has a pretty good eye. But as you see right there, just that rise ball is just so hard to lay off of. Another
strikeout, the third and 4 hitters, as Jardina set down the first 4 she's faced, and now we'll deal with Jada Martin, the shortstop. 378, a homer, and 16 driven in on the year.
And again, when you're Captain Shreve, you have to be wondering if the softball gods are kind of against you a little bit. The last 2 years in the first round, they had the pleasure of playing the Santa Ma Lady Gators. My good friend Amy Petrie's their coach, and they're just a juggernaut. So your reward for making the playoffs is to go to Santa Ma.
Quickly, 2 strikes on Martin. Now, you've seen enough of them over the years at Hahnville and Mount Carmel.
Absolutely. I played them multiple times every year, and then now you get your first playoff win in several years.
Swing and a miss. Again, 3 pitches, rise ball too much, and 2 outs, and 4 strikeouts for Kayla Jardina.
Right. And to that point, now you win your first playoff game in several years, and your reward is you get Kayla Jardina in the second round. But that's the nature of playoff softball. It's designed to put the best against the best.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-1 as Megan Hill bats. She's at 388, 3 homers, 24 RBIs. Some very impressive numbers there. No balls and a strike. There's the rise ball again, and she's above bat level with pretty much all of these fastballs.
Yeah, they're just coming in at the her release point is absolutely impeccable right now, and then the ball is just spinning and rising right at the right time. It's given the hitters very little chance to make the adjustment.
1-0-2. Got her. What a performance by Jardina to start this game. 6 hitters, all retired, 5 on strikeouts, and we're on to the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless here from Butch Dewey Playground. And with that, we want to tell you that today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Jefferson Parish Councilman Dominic Impastato. In his time in public service, Councilman Impastato has brought $100 million into improvements to Kenner and Metairie, including an overhaul of this facility at Butch Dewey that has led to the East Bank Little League and Chappelle teams making this their homes. Thanks to Dominic Impastato and to the Little League team, of course, that 2019 World Series championship is still fresh on the minds of others. I do a lot of high school baseball games, and those kids populate the teams at Brother Martin, at Archbishop Rummel, at Jesuit, at Curtis. And it's amazing when you go back and look at the kids that were on that team and where they are now and how well they're doing.
Oh, it's so exciting to see. Like you said, time flies by so quickly. 2019 doesn't seem that long ago, and then you go to a high school game and see all those young men that were young boys on that Little League team, like you said, populating those lineups. It's really cool to see. And this being a small world, I'm very familiar with Councilman Impastato and his family. He graduated from Rummel with my younger brother Tim, and I actually worked with his mother when I was the coach at Mount Carmel. She was a math teacher over there. So again, all the
ties that bind, huh?
All the little ties that bind.
You bet. Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm in Rummel's Hall of Fame. I don't know. They ran out of guys. They put me in a few years back, and I'm on the selection committee. And I was on that committee that selected Tim, and I nominated him. So richly deserved. Boy, was he good.
Yeah, he was definitely fun to watch, and that was a great ride for our family. Tim's days at Rummel and LSU.
Fly ball to right, shading the eyes in perfect position to make the catch is steer. 1 pitch, 1 out as Mia Impastato goes out to right. Got under that one. Ball's going to carry better to left today. If you get a ball in the air like that to left, it's going to be interesting to see.
Exactly, and that was a great job by steer and right. I can see she doesn't have glasses or a visor on, but she was able to use her glove to shade the sun and actually camp under it and make a good catch.
Cameron DiMaggio takes one for a strike called. Third baseman has a 326, no homers, and 22 driven in.
And DiMaggio, another good young player for the Chipmunks here. Again, just part of that process that Coach O'Brien has created, building a team and developing players.
Off-speed roller to the pitcher, foul ball. So it's going to be 0-2 as a result. Again, the changing of speeds has been the effectiveness thus far for Hedrick.
And I think that's something she's going to have to continue to do throughout the game. You're facing a pitcher who's not going to give up a lot of runs, so to that end, you have to change your speeds, keep the Chappelle hitters off balance. What you really want to avoid is for Chappelle having a big inning where they just pull away by quite a bit, because that's going to become insurmountable at some point in the game.
Just missed down. It's 1-2. Pretty good 0-2 pitch, though. And a good job of laying off by DiMaggio.
But if she can, if Hedrick can keep the speeds changing like she's been doing, keep the Chappelle hitters off balance, let their defense do their work, and then try to manufacture a run here or there, this is going to be a really good game.
Off speed, hit up the middle, a base hit. She waited beautifully on that. And it's all about keeping the hands back, Jerry. She did that extremely well.
She kept her hands back. She didn't bring her lower body out till it was the exact perfect time, and then went right up the middle with it. You couldn't have said it better, Ken. Just keeping your hands back. That was just wonderful. Great piece of hitting there. And
here's Marie Rowley at the plate, the left fielder at 253, 2 homers, 21 driven in.
And Rowley, not big in stature, but has a lot of pop. If you ever watch her hit, the ball just explodes off her bat when she gets into one.
Took a ball. It's 1-0. Chappelle, as you mentioned, district champs for the first time since 2005. Special season, of course, went to the state championship game in 2004. Lost to that Santa Maria team. Liner, base hit. To second goes DiMaggio, so 2 on, 1 out. A couple of hits in succession.
Chappelle's got a little bit of momentum going here. I won't mention who Chappelle beat in the semifinals in 2004 to get to that final.
Yeah, I conveniently left that fact out. It's all good. Here's Katie DeSlat, 313, no homers, 16 driven in. And I mentioned Mount Carmel beat Byrne in their opening playoff game. That's another young team that's good, Mount Carmel Academy.
Yeah, Curtis Matthews, a good friend of mine, has that team really on a nice path right now, and it's really fun to watch the Catholic League and Dominican with another solid season. Yep. And there's just a lot of young players that are really just populating those lineups and just making this a very, very competitive district.
And John Curtis, of course, is John Curtis. They've been terrific. 0-1 the count here to DeSlat, and that is a strike called over the outside edge. It's 0-2, so quickly getting ahead in the count here is Hedrick with 2 on, 1 out.
She's working it outside the corner a little bit, too, so it'll be interesting to see. She was more inside earlier in the game, but she's working the outside a little bit this inning, so we'll see how that works out. Maybe trying to play off that wind a little bit.
0-2. Back to the netting, staying alive. There's DeSlat.
Yeah, but to that point with Curtis, the way their program's always been, and with Mount Carmel, Chappelle, and Dominican, with all these young players coming up, it's going to be fun to watch that district over the next couple of years.
I would be not surprised at all if at least 3 of these teams make it to the round of 8 this year.
Absolutely, would not surprise me at all.
On 0-2, another off speed, struck her out. Great pitch,
beautiful pitch.
Had her out on the front foot and didn't really have much left there. DeSlat gone on strikes for out number 2, and that's the first strikeout recorded by Hedrick.
That's just so hard to lay off of. I mean, it looks so fat coming in, but the ball just moves so well when you release a changeup like that. Just great job by Ella Hedrick there.
Here's Addie Stein, the right fielder. 213, no homers, and 7 driven in for Addie.
Another one of those connections. Stein's
and a foul. It's 0-1.
Stein's dad was a football grade at Hornville High School, my current employer. Actually played at LSU as well. Again, been nice to be able to see the Stein family when I go out and cover games.
Hornville played a wild opening round game in softball with Fontainebleau.
Oh, my goodness.
Not with Fontainebleau, with Ponchatoula. Ground ball to third, and step on the bag, inning over as Baudouin took care of that on the roller to third to end the inning. And in the inning, no runs and 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left for Chappelle. They've left 3 in the game. We played 2, and we're still scoreless. And thus far, kind of what we expected.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with both pitchers so far. I mean, we knew what we were going to see out of Giardina. Haven't seen Hedrick as much this year with them being up north, but I'm really impressed with how she's changed her speeds and locations a bit. Again, she's bent, but she hasn't broken. Really keeping her team in the game. We've got ourselves a nice little playoff matchup going here.
Jardina back to the mound. She's been dominant thus far. Handled business extremely well to this point, and she goes back to the mound having retired all 6 hitters she has faced, including 5 strikeouts to this point, 22 pitches, and she'll be dealing with Anna Grace Steer, to be followed by Maggie Guy and Lauren Simpkins here in the 3rd inning. Big shout out to Matt Merritt and Robbie Utzler taking care of business for us here today. Do a terrific job, great people, and deeply appreciative of their efforts as well. It's a glorious afternoon turning into early evening here. I mean, really beautiful afternoon. And interestingly enough, usually when you're out here, you're gonna hear a lot of plane sounds, and we haven't really caught much of that thus far today. So stay tuned. I'll probably put the jinx on them, because the airport, of course, the runway's pretty much right next door here, right across Airport Road. And here in the 3rd inning, ready to roll.
Leading off the top of the 3rd inning for Captain Shreve is right fielder number 16, Anna Grace Steer.
Anna Grace Steer will lead off the 3rd, the right fielder at 385. No homers and 14 RBI, and Anna Grace Steer takes a ball, so it's the first hitter that Jardina's fallen behind. 1-0 the count. 1-0 pitch, just missing away. It's 2-0. So Steer lays off, gets ahead in the count. Lefty swinger. 2-0 the count. And that's high. So 3 balls and no strikes. Steer will take 1, if not 2 here.
Absolutely. I would definitely consider taking at least 1. I mean, obviously she will, but wouldn't be a bad idea to take 2. And she goes on 4 there.
4-pitch walk. That pitch away. So leadoff walk. First base runner of the game for the Gators, and we'll see what they apt to do here. I would think Munson, really good possibility. Maggie Guy at the plate.
It looks like Chappelle's getting ready for that, and I'll be honest with you, Ken, that would be my thought process right now. I would definitely be thinking about putting 1 down and trying to manufacture that run.
Squares went around on a pitch out of the zone. It's a strike. It's 0-1. Guy at 236, no homers, and 17 driven in.
Yeah, and if you're Maggie Guy, you really have to be patient here. Your pitcher just gave up a 4-pitch walk, albeit to a left-handed hitter, but you really just want to get a good pitch to put this bunt down.
Took this one for a strike, so offered it the one out of the zone, took the one in the zone. It's 0-2. You leave it on here?
It's up to the coach at this point. You have to know your personnel. I would consider doing it if I had the right player up.
Squared the bunt and took strike 3 call, 1 out. So goodness. Not able to get the bunt down, and
yeah, and that's honestly just devastating for Captain Shreve. You've got to try to get some kind of ball in play there. And again, I don't criticize him for going for it on the third strike, but you have to get something in play.
Lauren Simpkins will bat. 396, no homers, 9 driven in. She tries to stab at it and missed it. Another pitcher was up and away, 0-1.
And Ken, a lot of people, she tried to bunt there. A lot of people will criticize you trying to bunt a second time in a row with, once you have an out on the board. But when you're facing a pitcher like this, you've got to get that run to the second base any way you can and take a shot.
0-1, she's late on the fastball, and it's 0-2.
And just overpowered there, tried to do the kind of fake bunt slap, kind of pullback swing, and we used to call it punch at Hornville, but again, just hard to catch up with right now.
0-2, bunted foul, so a good job by Jardina. And again, Shreve unable to get the bunt down. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Simpkins goes down for the second out of the inning.
You got to consider possibly putting a runner in motion here. And again, I know Chappelle just got the momentum back with back-to-back failed bunt attempts that led to essentially strikeouts. But,
yep.
Again, I think you just have to keep the pressure on this Chappelle defense. They played well all year, but again, Kayla's been so good.
Swing and a miss, steal attempt, throw down is perfect, and she's out. What a great throw. Shortstop. This lap takes the throw from Schmidt. I mean, you talk about putting the ball right on the bag. That's what Schmidt just did.
Very great defensive play. I mean, shortstop barely had to move to catch that ball and tag her out. That was great. I do like the aggressiveness of Captain Shreve again. You're the underdog in this game. You're facing the stud pitcher. You've got to try to force the action a little bit and get people in scoring position any way you can. So I don't fault them for it. It's just a bad turn of events. You get your first base runner, and then you go down 3 outs in a row quickly after that. But
one time through the lineup, you're talking about 7 strikeouts for Giardina. So pretty good start there, to say the least. Very, very impressive.
She's definitely in mid-game form early on.
St. Charles Catholic defeated Loyola 11-0 in the opening round today. No surprise there. Great program.
Always a great program. Ty Monica always has them ready to go when the playoffs start.
So we're on to the bottom of the third, and so far Hedrick has kept Chappelle just enough off balance. She has allowed 3 hits, has walked 1, but she's escaped by stranding 3 runners thus far, and also Chappelle lost a runner on the bases.
Yeah, and Ella Hedrick really just showing a lot of mental fortitude out there in the circle. You know, like you said, she let a few on and was able to battle her way out of it. She didn't back off any of her pitches. She kept going at Chappelle and doing what she does, and she was able to get out of those jams, which again, that builds confidence as the innings go on. Now she's just got to hope that her offense can find a way to get one across for her.
Today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 45 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Allie Domingue, the leadoff hitter, will lead off again. She grounded to short in the bottom of the first.
I'd like to see Domingue be a little bit more patient here.
Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back.
But
and
again,
it's 0-1.
But again, you know, I don't know the players as well as they know themselves. But you know, just Domingue, I've watched her run the bases. Such a threat when she gets on, just to really put pressure on the catcher, put pressure on the defense. I'd like to see her work this count a little bit, maybe get the pitch count up a little bit, wear her down, and then try to get on base.
Swings and drives it to left down the line. Left fielder is there to make the catch for out number 1. So Domingue give it a ride down the line, but a little bit under it for out number 1. By the way, it's 205 down the lines here. This fine diamond, about 230 to center field.
And that was a really nice angle by Lauren Simpkins. Like you said, it was just that left field area is going to play very deep. So she did a very nice job of being set up to go and then taking a nice angle to catch that ball.
Delaney Trosclair ripped a double her first down the left. Bats here with nobody on, 1 out. First pitch is a bit up for a ball. Good read on the rise ball by Trosclair.
And if you look at her numbers, especially during the district run, Trosclair has been a big part of the Chappelle offense and getting them to that district championship. And I'm sure they're hoping that she'll be a big part of what they're going to do in this postseason.
1-0 is driven to left. In the air, it's got a chance at the track, at the wall, it's gone. Delaney Trosclair records the first run of the game over the BAM Incorporated sign, right next to the Jason Urall sign, and Chappelle has a 1-0 lead. Trosclair with her second home run of the season, RBI number 30.
And Ken, if you look, that was a perfect smart at-bat by a hitter. And what I mean by that is if you look at her first at-bat, they came inside on her, she turned on it, met it out in front, and got it over the left fielder's head. She was expecting that same pitch. They came back basically with the same pitch, and she just put it over the wall there. That's just a good piece of smart hitting by Trosclair, and that's a testament to what they're doing over at Chappelle right now.
So with 1 out, here's Kayla Giardina, the pitcher, now has a run to work with. She flew out to center her first time. Good hitter. She can help herself here.
Absolutely, and if she gets on, I'd be willing to bet there's going to be a courtesy runner coming in.
First pitch, fouled back. At a cut, it's 0-1.
And it appears, and like I said earlier, I was hoping the leadoff hitter would be a little bit more patient, but it appears like Hedrick is trying to get ahead early and coming in with strikes early. So Chappelle's taking advantage of that, and they're hacking away early. They're not taking a lot of pitches.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Changeup is away, and it's 1-1. When she takes something off, she really takes something off.
There is a tremendous drop in velocity there.
Ball and a strike.
The impressive thing is, though, her arm speed really doesn't change when she's in her windmill there.
With another. Line drive, base hit, right field. Gets by the right fielder. She'll make the turn and go to second, and she will be there standing. So that's got to be a hit and an error. And now the ball gets by. Runner for third. She's there as well. So that's 2 errors on the play as I have it.
Absolutely.
1 on the right fielder and 1 on the throwback.
And just great heads-up running by Giardina, you know, just to you can't rely on a coach to tell you that when that ball's in front of you like that, you have to read that. She read the misplay in right field, took second, and then again read the overthrow and took third. That's great news for Chappelle, and we're going to see a courtesy runner here.
As you predicted, so
His runner is number 24, Emma Ruddy.
that's going to be Emma Ruddy, the junior, who will run. Ruddy running for Jardina.
Quick-footed outfielder for Chappelle, coming in a position to put another run on the board for him.
Now Kelsey Schmidt trying to make contact here. She, first time up there, walked, and we'll see what she can do here. Schmidt with a chance to drive in a run here and add to the lead. She's driven in 32 on the season.
And this is a good hitter to have up here in this position. You know, she's got a lot of games under her belt, a lot of experience, puts the bat on the ball well.
Infield in a little bit, looking to come home here, trying to cut down the runner from third, the pitch. And she took it off speed high, 1-0.
I like the approach, just being patient. You know, at this point, with the infield up and the outfield deep the way they are, you're just looking to make solid contact here. Let the chips fall where they may. You know, but if she's able to get a ball in the zone, I got a feeling it'll be 2-0 very quickly.
1-0 the count. Hendrick swinging a pop foul. That will be out of play. Just over the dugout of Captain Shreve, and the count goes to 1-1. Mitch Fantha, fine coach at Captain Shreve, real gentleman, great guy. I had a long visit with him earlier, and I know Mitch because he's been an assistant football coach for many years, and that was the story behind him. They came to him 8 years ago and said, hey, will you coach softball for us as you continue to coach football? Prayed about it over the weekend, talked to his daughter who plays softball. Her eyes lit up, and he said, I made up my mind. I'm going to do it.
I know that feeling, and when you see your daughter's eyes.
A bunt has popped up and hits the ground fair. That will be a bunt hit. Runner had to hold it third. Now breaks for second to try to draw a throw. Now they throw home. It's not in time. And now the runner off a second bid. So aggressive base running gets the Chipmunks the run. It's 2-0.
Yeah, and I think Chappelle kind of caught Captain Shreve in panic mode. They had to pop up out, couldn't quite get it. You know, the runner went, catcher threw, and just aggressively. If you watch right when the catcher released the ball, there was very little air between her hand and the ball. The runner on third was taken off. That was by design. That's a well coached base runner right there.
Visit to the mound, a 2-0 game here. Catcher shaking her hand a little bit there, you could see, and so she's being tended to as we speak.
Yeah, and they have to keep their composure here. It's still, it's still a 2-0 game. You still early on in the game. You're in the front half of the game. Let's just get it together. Let's get it out. Get that second out, that coveted second out, and then let's try to, come back and get our ducks in a row on offense. But again, you're dealing with high school players, and I'm sure right now what's running through their mind is we're facing a dominant pitcher. We're down 2-0. But again, you just have to play the game one pitch at a time, and that's the trick to playoff softball. There's no magic formula. It's the same as during the regular season. So let's just, if you're Captain Shreve, you just want to get this next out, and then move on.
So it's aggressive base running that did it for Chappelle. Run around at first off of the bunt single, Schmidt, and then she was able to draw the throw, and then of course stopped and forced the throw home, and a good job aggressively by Ruddy to get there just ahead of the tag. Ball got there at about the same time.
Yeah,
it was contacted a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad defensive play by Captain Shreve. It was just Chappelle was kind of in a position where they got a little bit more of a jump, but again, you just have to kind of overcome those kind of things in the playoffs. Now, if you're Hendrick here, you don't want to change your approach pitching. As far as I like how she's been changing the speeds and her locations have been good. You don't want to press here and abandon your best pitch, which, in my opinion, is that changeup right now.
Hendrick will continue to warm up a little bit to make sure she stays loose, and Hendrick's ready to work to Mia Impastato, who flew out to right her first time. Runner second, one out. Chance for the big inning here for the Chipmunks, up 2-0 in the third.
Yeah, and if you're Impastato here being a left-hander, you want to try to pull something if you possibly can, unless she didn't give you the option. But
went after that high pitch and fouled it back.
Yeah, but if you can get a ball on the right side of the field, get that run of the third, you're once again you're in a position where 3-0. You're starting to really kind of build on that lead and put yourself in a position to control the bottom of the inning.
What a future Mia has as an 8th grader playing at this level and playing so well. Here's the 0-1. off speed, and it drops in there. Strike call.
Nice pitch. That's a good take by Mia in a situation like that. You have a strike to give. If you're not ready for the change, if you're not looking for it, just let it go by and take the strike and live the fight, live the battle another day.
0-2 the count on Mia. Next one on the way. High, 1-2. Family watching just below. See granddad, dad, whole bunch down there watching.
Yeah, the Chappelle faithful are out here. I actually see Coach Wendy Skip Zacconi, who I had many battles with.
Yes,
when she was the head coach
well.
at Chappelle. Good friend of mine.
1-2. Dips down. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, I saw a lot of those games because my niece was a pretty doggone good hitter.
She wasn't
at
bad.
Chappelle.
She was real good. Real good.
Ashley Scheck-Snyder. She had 11 in 1 year, so
Yep.
might be watching right now. Just got a feeling. 2-2 the count.
We tried not to throw her many around the strike zone.
Next one on the way. Off speed, swinging a fly ball into center. Center fielder can't get it. That's the win. Here comes the run home. Impostato's going to have herself a double, and Chappelle's lead is 3-0.
Yeah, the wind really played a part in that. Good job by Impastato waiting on the changeup, getting it to center field. Looked like she was camped under the ball there, Maggie Guy, but all of a sudden at the last minute it just got past her. I think that, like you said, the wind just played a little havoc on her there. Good break for Chappelle, and tough spot for Captain Shreve to be in. Here comes Coach.
Yeah, good contact. Kept the hands back long enough. It's a play that could have been made. Guy fighting the sun, and then, of course, the wind really helped it. Any ball hit that's going to rise, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 30 feet or higher in the air is going to carry to left and center.
Yes, indeed. And this is just one of those games, too, where, the little details matter, and those little things just really start to pile up, and it just becomes so much to surmount or becomes insurmountable when these little things just none of them go your way, and again, credit to Chappelle, like you said, Impastato just waited back on that and just drove it, and again they may have even had a chance to tag up on that, but now another runner in scoring position with another good hitter up for Chappelle. Still only one out.
Batting third baseman, number 55, Cam DiMaggio.
There's Cam DiMaggio. She singled her first time.
DiMaggio, a 326 hitter with a 435 slugging percentage. Again, good hitter to have up in a spot like this.
Drives it toward the right side, caught by the first baseman. Throw to second, runner back. That pitch got in on the fist, so she fisted it to first. Caught there by Cyphers for the second out.
Yeah, and if you're Ella Hendrick and Captain Shreve, that's the best thing that can happen for you right there. One quick pitch, one out, and now you have 2 outs with a runner on second, and you can kind of catch your collective breath and try to get this third out.
Ella Hendrick will now pitch to Marie Rowley, who singled her first time.
And I'm really, really impressed with how aggressive Chappelle is early here.
Swing and a miss.
I believe the majority of their at-bats, they were hacking on the first pitch, which, again, that's scouting, and that's knowing that Captain Shreve likes to get ahead early. So then the chess game kind of begins. If you're Captain Shreve, do you try to start going outside the zone a little bit to try to see if they'll chase pitches?
0-1, high and away. So it's even at a ball and a strike. 3 runs home here for the Chipmunks. In the third.
Looking here, you have a situation. You have a decent runner on third. Good contact hitter up. Don't think you'll see a whole lot.
In the center field. Let's see if Guy can handle this when she's there. She's got it for the out. Inning over, but Chipmunks have it. Inning. They bat 7 and score 3 runs in the inning. Do it on 4 hits. No errors, stranded runner. They've left 4. We've played 3. And Chappelle's on top by the score of 3-0. Of course, I mentioned my niece, of course, and Keith Conley's daughter was part of that team. They were really good 1-2 punch. And I think about those teams that you had some really good ones in Hahnville, dating back to Mount Carmel, winning a state championship. Megan Patterson was a big part of that. My daughter at Mount Carmel at the time and loved her experience and raves about that to this day. That's what this league produces. You've got so many fine schools and so many good people at those respective schools.
when I got out of coaching, I think that was the thing I missed the most. You miss the action and you miss the competition, but you really miss the relationships you've built over the years, and it's just been some of the bonds you create are just things like you said. I coached Keith Conley's daughter in travel ball when she was 10 years old, along with Megan Patterson. They grew up together, and then they ended up at different schools competing against one another. But at the end of the day, we're all chasing the same thing. But it's just the relationships you build there, and then just the experiences you get. Like you said, I was able to teach your daughter at Mount Carmel back in the day, economics, and just again, great to see how she's doing with her and her family over the years, and I feel very blessed and fortunate throughout my career to do what I've been able to do for so long.
Yeah, daughter loved her experience. She went on to LSU, graduated cum laude, and she's marketing director for a national orthodontics firm. Has 2 young children that my wife's enjoying the heck out of consistently. Swinging a miss here to Alexa Baudouin, who struck out swinging in the first. Jardina, 33 pitches now, 7 strikeouts, no hits allowed through 3. She's been that good.
And it doesn't look like that extended offensive inning just now for Chappelle has affected her velocity any. So I know as coaches we always get a little anxious when we start to get that big offensive inning if the pitcher's going to get cold or not, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. 3 pitches. And
that'll take care of Baudouin. So strikeout number 8. The second time that Jardine has gotten Baudouin, and that's out number 1 for Nora Falcon. Popped out to first her first time. It's been a challenge just to put the ball in play. Falcon's the only one that has thus far.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Fant, that's my biggest concern is the strikeouts. And she's going to get her strikeouts, but you've got to find a way to extend some at bats, get her pitch count up a little bit, maybe try to tire her out, and then try to start putting some balls in play.
Well, you would say go to the bunt more, but they tried that twice and didn't work earlier. Here's a ball high, 2-0.
And sometimes teams are a victim of their own offensive success. When you really have a successful offensive year and you don't have the need to bunt a lot or you don't do it a lot, unfortunately, you get into a situation like this where you have a juggernaut pitcher and then you need that bunt and you're just not used to having to do it.
2 balls and a strike now on Falcon. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there. That lowered the eye level. Got that one around the knees, and the count goes even at 2-2.
And to that point, Kenneth Vial, one of my mentors, former Hornville great coach, his philosophy.
And bunted it to the screen. Well, there's a try, and it's a strikeout for the second out.
Right. And his philosophy always was, and this is one I tried to carry into my coaching, was no matter who you're playing that week, you're going to practice like you're going to be in a 1-run game. So you may not have to bunt. We're practicing it all week. You may not have to play defense like you're in a tight one, but we're gonna practice that way.
Yeah, I mentioned the Ponchatoula-Hahnville playoff game, 10-9 game with 6 home runs struck in Booty there. So ball was carrying that day a couple of days ago. Huh?
Yeah, it really was.
Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Unfortunately, my Tigers fell on the wrong side of it, but it was a really good game, and to 2 teams, it was a 16-17 matchup, and both teams were really battling out, and they both left it out on the field. So I was very proud of our girls that day, and just watching what went on, and congratulations to Ponchatoula, who gets the reward of playing Santa Monica this evening.
Congratulations, condolences. It's 1-1 here, and Santa Monica's that good every year. It's been that way for a long time now.
Yeah, these last couple of years especially, and Addison Jackson's a big part of that. But they're just very, very good. They're the class of 5A this year. It's going to take an upset to knock them off this year, I believe.
Fast strike. It's now 1-2 to Hendrick, the pitcher, but nobody on 2 outs here. And took it high, and it's even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on 2 outs.
But that's the beauty of the playoffs, though, Ken. I was talking to Coach Petrie from Santa Monica today, and she's as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs right now, and I'm going, Amy, y'all are the heavy favorites, but again, it's playoff softball, and anything can happen, and again, that Ponchatoula team can swing the bat.
So 3-2 now. And Captain Shreve has seen enough of Santa Monica the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Swinging a pop foul back, stays alive.
Nice little break for him to get out of that bracket, for sure.
Been knocked out the last 2 years, and admire them, as Coach Fan said, but seen enough of them at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the luck of the draw does play a role in all playoffs, sports, and LHSAA. 3-2 changeup. What a pitch.
Wow.
Struck her out looking, and that's not fair.
And she pulled that one out of her back pocket. We hadn't seen that little low and outside changeup today very much. And
Special pitch, and what a performance by Kayla Giardina thus far in this game. She has struck out 10 and just been brilliant here in the 4 innings as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 3-0 Chipmunks on top. And today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Quick Lane services all makes and models, batteries, tires, oil changes, and more. And it's all done quickly while you enjoy some popcorn. Must be a reason. That's one of the things. Both of my vehicles are Lamarck vehicles, one Lincoln, one Ford, and when you go over there, you're going to get fresh popcorn. I love it. So, and then you get an earful if Ronnie's there. So,
there's no doubt. I own a Lamarck myself, and you definitely get that. But the popcorn is good.
Oh man, well I love them. They treat us so well over there. That's why we've done business there for quite some time. Just good people, and Ronnie Jr. is a wonderful young man, and Timmy, Dennis, the whole family, Brandon, good people. So appreciate them, and they love high school sports. That's why we're able to be here today, thanks to.
Absolutely. They have their ties to Mount Carmel with Christy graduating from there. Back in the 90s.
Yep. Christy, and a wonderful person, and spent time with her too, and just a good family. So deep ties to St. Bernard Parish. And Ronnie, last year we did a game for our Crescent City Sports Summer Baseball League and at Chalmette High when they played Lutcher, and we made it a fundraiser for the victims of the tornado. Of course, Ronnie from Araby, and they were hit very hard, including his street he grew up on Mill Street. And Ronnie donated $250,000 that night, and he got Louis Roussel to donate, and we did a fundraiser the whole night with Parish President Guy McGinnis and helped raise some more money. But that's the kind of person that Ronnie is.
Absolutely. And that's the great thing about sports. You have the opportunity to do things like that, and then you get a few benefactors like Mr. Lamarck, and just
well, we just want to help. And look, if we're not in this to give back and to try to give, period, in some way, shape, or form, then what are we doing here? I strongly feel that way. And I think the older we get, the more we're disposed to feeling that way.
Absolutely.
Here is DeSlat taking a ball. Katie struck out swinging her first time up. She'll be followed by Stein and then Domang here in the 4th. Chipmunks up by 3, trying to advance.
And this could be one of those innings for Chappelle. If they could put a couple more on, it's going to create a lot of pressure for Captain Shreve. Not that they're not under enough already.
Fouled it back, so the count is now equal. And a ball and a strike. As you look ahead, winner of this one on to the quarterfinals. Play the winner of number 4 Pineville, number 13 Northwood. Here's the way it sets up. If Northwood wins, Chappelle would host or Captain Shreve would host. If Pineville wins, then Chappelle has to travel. So would Captain Shreve. High for a ball.
And that Pineville program is really, really impressive. Coach Fry over there, good friend of mine. She was a longtime coach at Holy Savior Menard, former player, at LC, and just great ambassador of softball, and put together a tremendous program at Pineville. Made quite a run in her years there, and just a few years there. Tough place to play.
Yeah, Pineville with Louisiana Christian located there. Of course, Holy Savior Menard and Alexandria, all central Louisiana schools that we're referencing. 2-2 the count. Here's another. And a drive towards center. Guy has a beat on it, and she'll put it away for round number 1. Saw that one right away. You could tell by her reaction.
Good beat. Was able to get under it. Like to see both hands, but that's the old school in me. But certainly good play by the center fielder.
Addie Stein grounded into a fielder's choice to third her first time up, which ended the 2nd inning.
Addie, another one of those good young players that Chappelle has been developing.
Off speed and down for a ball. It is 1-0.
That's one of the things, Ken, too, and Scott O'Brien's a good friend of mine, and I think he'd agree. When you start to bring these young players up and they're contributing freshman, sophomore year, early junior year, it's because you have a really good program. Your 8th grade coaches, your JV coaches, everybody, it's a collective effort. With everybody kind of being on the same page. Now
2-0. Of course, Scott coming from De La Salle where he coached and did a great job there after spending 4 years at Mount Carmel as an assistant. So
yes, indeed. I met Scott when he got to Mount Carmel, and was very impressed with the job he did with their JV program, and certainly went to De La Salle and rejuvenated that program, and now he's got Chappelle rolling right in the direction they want to be in.
Pitch misses away 3-0 now to Addie Stein, who will take a pitch here. From Ella Hendrick, who delivers low, so a 4-pitch walk. Second walk issued, and good speed aboard with Stein. Flip the order, and here's Allie Domang, who's grounded to short and flying to left.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunt and run or a fake bunt steal here or something like that, just to, again, just kind of keep the pressure on Captain Shreve and kind of build on that lead.
And a good combination to do that with as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a very good spot for Chappelle here.
Domang takes a ball just high, 1-0.
You can see Stein's lead over there, very, not overly aggressive, but a very good lead.
And then for those not familiar, you have to be in contact with the bag if you're the base runner. And of course, with that being the case, you can depart when the pitch is made and the pitch is away and it's 2-0, but you have to wait for the ball to be released.
If you're going to do a bunt and run or a hit and run, this would be the spot to do it right here with this 2-0 count. If they're going to probably come with the ball, I wouldn't say fat, but somewhere in the zone here. This is where you're going to get a good contact pitch here, hopefully.
2-0, and that is a strike called. It's 2-1.
And Coach might be playing for the bigger inning too. He's got his hot hitters coming up the top of his order here.
2 balls and a strike. And another. That's down and in. It's 3-1. See a lot of Rummel students and even players here. Those are brother and sister school, and I know Chappelle will want me to mention that they won the showdown this year. They beat Rummel in their competition. So
a big time. I'm trying to see if I can spot my nephew. Tim's boy is a 8th grader playing ball at Rummel this year.
Huge pride for the Chipmunks taking down the Raiders this year.
Oh, absolutely.
3-1. There's a drive in the center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Stopping at second on the play is Stein, and here come the Chipmunks again with 2 on, 1 out.
And that was just a nice job. It wasn't a fat pitch, tough pitch to hit, but definitely have to swing with 2 strikes on you with a 3-2 count. And just got the bat through the zone and did just enough to get it up the middle and drop it in there.
And the hitter that Chappelle wants up there, Trosclair, who's doubled and homered, doubled to deep left, homered to left, and up with 2 on and nobody out. I got to believe she's going to see something off speed here.
Yeah, and I don't expect much movement by the Chappelle runners. I think they're going to
let her swing.
They're going to let her swing the way she's seeing the ball today.
Down for a ball, 1-0.
And I'm one who always tries to be aggressive in these situations, but in this situation, I'd kind of put the brakes on myself and let my hot hitter roll.
1-0 the count. Pops this one up on the infield, so playable for the shortstop. Basket catch made by Martin, and that's out number 2. So this time they get Trosclair, and now it's up to Kayla Jardina. Slide to center, singled and scored.
And right here, if you're Jardina, you just have to be patient and wait for a pitch you can drop. Again, you just want to build on this lead a little bit.
And the remarkable nature of this Chappelle team, just 1 senior plays.
With the season they've had, to have only 1 senior, that's saying a lot about how the future is going to roll for the Chipmunks.
Pitch missing down for a ball, 1-0.
And a lot of people don't realize, if they're not close to the situation, what Scott's done is he's built a culture over there as well. It's not just the product obviously speaks for itself on the field, but I've always been a believer that you have to build a culture. And through my friendship with him and just getting to know him different ways. I mean, he does events for these teams and has family events, and just he brings them all in and makes them a family over there at Chappelle. And so that to me that always makes a big difference when you have that bond with the players you're playing with. It's not just about the wins and the losses. But when you go out there, you're doing it for the other 24 people in that dugout. And he's done a good job of building that culture there.
Foul back, the count 1-1 now with 2 on, 2 outs. On Jardina, who waits. Hendrick brings it. Off speed, stayed back, fly ball left center field. Long run left fielder, can't get it. Drops for a hit. 1 run is home. 2 runs will score. In the second is Jardina, helping herself with a 2-run double, and the Chipmunks increase the lead to 5-0.
Yeah, and again, Chappelle doing a good job of pretty good changeup pitch there, but Chappelle just doing a good job of keeping her hands back and just exploding through it right at the right time. You know, again, Giardina helping herself and, again, stayed patient and built on that lead. 5-0 is going to be very hard to come by, very hard to overcome when she's mounting up the strikeouts that she's mounting up.
Number 7, Kelsey Schmidt.
Kelsey Schmidt bats with the runner second. She's walked, she's singled and scored, 1 for 1.
Ruddy back on the base,
Yep.
running for Giardina again. Again, good speed there, so Chappelle in another good position here.
High and away for ball 1. To Schmidt. It's driven in 32.
Just watching the attention to detail as I'm watching Ruddy's lead. She's getting a very big lead, but her eyes are on the ball the entire time. Just one of those little nuances to the game that, you know, again, well-coached teams kind of figure out.
And the count 2-0. Chipmunks now with some distance and a 5-0 lead, which probably looks like or feels like a lot more considering the way Giardina's pitching.
And again, Hendricks looking to get a little fatigued here. Her pitch count's starting to get up there a little bit, which is
2-0. Fly ball, center field for Guy. She's there. 2 hands this time for the catch. And the inning is over, but the Chipmunks pick up 2 more runs in the inning. And they do so on 2 hits. No errors, stranded runner. They've left 5 through 4 innings, and after 4, the Chipmunks leading the Gators by the score of 5-0. 3 was going to be difficult, Jerry. 5 is going to be very difficult for the Gators to overcome.
Yeah, the way Giardina is throwing right now, and it reminds me of the old Megan Patterson days when I was at Mount Carmel. We knew if we could put 2 or 3 up, we were going to have a very, very good shot at winning. We knew if we got 5 or 6, the other team was going to have a very long day. And that's kind of the position Chappelle's in now. But again, you're in the playoffs. You're in the second round. Anything can happen. And so, if you're Chappelle and your coach Scott, the biggest thing you have to remind them is to just they can't take their foot off the gas right now. They have to keep playing as if it's a 1-1 or a 1-0 game, and just continue to keep your focus on defense. Typically, those are the kind of situations where things can kind of come. When a comeback happens in a situation like this, you get a little laxed on defense because your pitcher's just been doing such a superb job. A ball gets put in play, and then something happens, and so if I know Scott, he's on him right now, telling him you're playing this like it's a 0-0 game.
7 district championships in the history of Archbishop Chappelle. Of course, they won this year, the first in 18 years. Their first one was back in 1996. And looking at the class, St. Thomas More is the number 1 seed. Tioga, the 2, John Curtis Christians, the 3rd seed. Mentioned Pineville, the 4, with Chappelle, the 5 seed in this select Division I classification. Swing and a miss, threw it by Townsend, who struck out swinging her first time. It's 0-1.
And looking at it, Ken, those 5 teams you mentioned, I really believe any one of the 5 could win it with the tools that they have. Haven't seen them all this year. And they're all well coached. I know Jerry Godfrey over at Curtis very well, Andrea Wagaspak at St. Thomas More. I mean, all these teams are going to be ready to play. You can see Chappelle came out ready to play, and those top 5, that's going to be a tough nut to crack. It's going to be fun to watch down the line.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Another strikeout for out number 1 here as Townsend goes down. That's 11 for Giardina, but more importantly, it's 6 in a row that she's fanned. They just can't put the ball in play.
Yeah,
there's Jada Martin.
Yeah, if you can't force the defense to make some plays and put at least a little pressure on them, again, you're really putting yourself in a bind here.
Martin squares to bunt, and she missed it. It's 0-1. So they've tried to bunt on 3 occasions, just haven't been able to get the bunt down, and it's really the play against a pitcher that's overwhelming you.
Right. Strategically, it makes sense to try to put a bunt down if you're not hitting the ball, but again, it's just not working.
And there's a swing and a liner to second. Not hit that hard, but positioned perfectly with Strasclair. They put one in play there, but the out, 2 gone.
Yeah, and again, just not a lot. They're not getting a lot of bat on the ball. again, just
Brings up number 13,
when you face that
Megan
power
Hill.
pitcher, you got to find a way to extend at bats and force the defense to make some outs. And but certainly you can't just strike out the entire game. Which
Swing and a miss.
I guess that's Captain Obvious speaking right now. But but certainly you just kind of get into that area. This is that time of the game now where you're getting towards that fifth inning. You're going to start to press a little bit too because you realize the clock's ticking on you now.
Well, one is high and away. It's 1-1. We'll tell you. Spring this on Jerry right now. We're going to send Jerry down at game's end, interview the winning coach, and also the star of the game. I think we got an idea who that is right now. Pitch is high.
I think I have a good idea who that might be, and certainly there's a player out there on second base who gets a little recognition too. Though
You bet.
She's had a hot day at the plate.
Swing and a miss, don't you? Well, there's no reason we can't put one on each side of the coach and have you talk to him. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, there's still 2.5 innings or 2 1/3 innings to go here.
Certainly.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's high and away 3-2. 5-0 Chappelle here in the 5th inning. Bright future for the Chappelle program, period. There's a ground ball is short. Eats up the shortstop and still got him. Good play by the slat. She stayed with it and showed the strong arm to take care of Hill. Contact made in this inning by the Gators, but still 3 up and 3 down, nothing across. We'll take a stretch here from Butch Dewey Playground, Chappelle Field, where Chappelle leads Captain Shreve 5-0. And today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Jefferson Parish Councilman Dominic Impostano. In his time in public service, Councilman Impostano has brought $100 million in improvements to Kenner and Metairie, including ongoing projects at Lafreniere Park that features turfed soccer fields and an upcoming renovation and upgrade to Mus Bernalino Playground in Kenner. Thanks to Coach Impostano. Call him Coach. He's good enough to do that too, but he does a lot, and we appreciate everything that he does, and appreciate him. He also serves on my board of directors for the Saints Hall of Fame, which I run, so appreciate Dominic.
Yeah, Coach Impostado doing a nice job coaching with the Voodoo travel team. My sister-in-law just spotted me waving to me in the stands.
There you go.
There.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned Coach, because he knows a little bit about this stuff. You've got, look, we can't hide you. The fans are everywhere looking for Nugent. So that's what happens when you're in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Oh, my goodness. What an overwhelming, humbling experience this has been the last week getting that news.
Such nice recognition, but extremely well deserved. I remember that championship team and winning that championship cover, your team at Mount Carmel when you won that title. That was special. You always think there's going to be other occasions, but boy, that's hard to do.
That was
especially then when it was everybody playing together.
Yeah, it was a special time in softball. It was a special time in my career, obviously. Personally and professionally, I got engaged the weekend before that tournament, and it seemed like every good thing in the world was happening at one time. But it was a special time in softball for sure.
Mia Impostano leads it off. Mia has an RBI double. She's fly to right. Hendrick toughing it out here for the Gators, competing well. First pitch is a little bit high and tight, 1-0. Captain Shreve arrived yesterday. They stayed overnight in Laplace. Got here early and spent the night to be prepared today.
Yeah,
class on the part of that school and on the program's part.
Absolutely, yeah. You want to.
As the ball hit the left fielder is there, and nice catch with the backhand for out number 1 made by Simpkins.
Yeah, good job by Simpkins tracking that ball because it kind of had a little tail on it. Looked like it was curving to the end, but she was able to stay with it.
Lights are on here at Butch Dewey. Not that they're needed, but they're on nonetheless. And the batter will be Cameron DiMaggio. I mean, it's a beautifully sunny day here in Kenner, South Kenner.
Yeah, you really couldn't be. You couldn't have asked for a better day for softball.
Here's DiMaggio. Took it down. I played a lot of games here. One thing I could do in my day was I could run, and I say that because it was here that I experienced my first blowing out a hamstring here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, running hard. I mean, really hard. I was trying to stretch one. There's a little looper towards second that is caught by the second baseman Falcon for out number 2. Yeah, and it all started happening at that time. I played ball, then I played competitive softball for years with a whole bunch of really, really good athletes who were college players. And
Left fielder number 2.
Blew out the hamstring here. Came back
Rolling.
about a month and a half later, tried to play, and then blew out the calf.
Oh,
so
my
that was when
goodness.
I knew maybe I'm getting a little bit old for this, you know?
Not the Iron Man anymore there, you
No,
know.
man. I'm like, yeah, it might be time to stop. But this is where I did that at Butch Dewey. So,
My goodness.
but it's a great place.
Yeah, it is a great place. I grew up about 10 minutes from here out in Metairie, and right there by the airport. A lot of great memories out in this area.
In the center field, Guy is there, and she puts it away in a good inning for Hendricks. She sets down the chips in order. So we go to the 6th, scheduled for 7, and Chappelle with a 5-0 lead here
And after
over.
Flux complete.
Looks like
Captain
Chappelle's
Shreve.
determined to give Guy a workout today. She's had quite a few balls hit her way,
0.
but did look like
This game live
Captain
right now
Shreve
and
kind of
also
settled
via
in that inning
replay.
and kind of got their composure back a little bit.
CrescentCitySports.com.
So a good job there by Hendrick. And I'm impressed with the way she's pitched. She's really competed well. There's been a few plays that could have been made behind her in this game, frankly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you had a couple of plays in the outfield, and then Chappelle scores on a real good, smart, savvy base running play by them where it was very close and bang bang. So certainly, it could be a lot closer and they could be in the game. So yeah, you can't pin this on the pitcher as much as just what it's really coming down to is just a dominant performance by Chappelle's pitcher. Again, she's having one of those kind of big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Well, she's having a big-time performance today.
Big shout out while I have the opportunity to Scott O'Brien for accommodating us in wonderful fashion. Athletic Director Dale LaCour, very appreciative of helping make this happen here today. And also to Mitch Fan, just a great guy. Captain Shreve, what a pleasure visiting with him and talking to him today. Spent a lot of time with him and thoroughly enjoyed that. He's what's good about high school athletics. Coaching football and coaching softball at Captain Shreve. Really fine school.
Absolutely, great school, great, and really a good program. You look at what Coach Fant's done with that in a short amount of time. They were struggling for a while, for quite a while, and he's made them a perennial playoff contender, and now he has them in the second round here. Certainly a great job.
And a great steer bats, took a ball low from Giardina, who struck out 11, and yeah, we can say it now. She is not allowed to hit.
No doubt.
I don't like to do that very early on. If you get my drift, which I'm sure you do, that
absolutely.
one is a strike. It's 1-1. Well, she, again, got to that magical 500 strikeout level, pitching a no-hitter this season. That is a strike, and it's 1-2. And the way she's throwing the ball, there's a reasonable chance of that occurring here.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the conditioning for her. Just her velocity has not dropped off a bit as we've gotten deeper into the innings.
Just missed up. Good job of laying off that pitch by Steer.
Yeah, very good. That's a pitch that's been her bread and butter this game, and Steers did a nice job of recognizing it and kind of staying away from it.
2-2, and got her looking. Great pitch, 1 out.
Yeah,
and that's number 12.
Yeah, and she just continues to hit pitch after pitch, spot after spot with the same velocity and movement. And that's when you get that combination of velocity, movement, and changing speeds, it's very hard to hit.
Maggie Guy struck out looking in the third. As we get one right overhead. 0-1 the count on Guy.
Watching these Captain Shreve hitters as they're trying to bunt, I think the velocity that Giardina is bringing is kind of getting them. They're trying to catch the ball as it's crossing the plate. They don't have enough time to get it out in front of the plate and get that bunt down.
Very late on that high one away, and it's 0-2. Yeah, you're right. They haven't been able to get the bat head up enough to be able to get that downward plane.
Right.
0-2, and that's high and away, 1-2. Similar pitch, but didn't swing at that one.
And they're making some nice adjustments. Again, it's just, by the time you figure a picture like this out, sometimes it's just a little too late.
Right. Swing and a miss, struck her out for out number 2. Make it 13 strikeouts for Giardina. 4 more outs to get.
Yes, and she's having a career night right now. This is a big-time playoff appearance.
Chappelle in the quarterfinals. 2003, 2005, 2006. Reached the semis last year. Quarterfinals in 2017. Strike called, and it certainly looks like they're on their way back to the round of 8. But a better bracket this year with 20 teams in as compared to that very ridiculous bracket they've been having to play against the last several years. Swing and a miss, 0-2. I feel so bad for those select schools in Division I the last few years with the terrible bracket they've had in softball.
Yeah, it's really been it is what it is, but certainly, and it's been disputed a lot and discussed a lot. But it really was an injustice for a lot of those players. It was,
struck her out swinging all that thought, because she is now mowed down 14 via strikeouts, 3 outs away from a win and 3 outs away from a no-hitter.
Yes,
we're on to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-0. Archbishop Chappelle on top. And look, we can say it now, you were on both sides of this at Mount Carmel Academy and at Hahnville. Select, non-select, and there's strong feelings on some sides. I've never been for the split, and I never will be. I just think it sends the wrong message to young people. The LHSA polled the youngsters about 3 years ago, and it was like 89% wanted to be together. But nobody's listening to the kids. Now, are there issues to settle? Absolutely. And to that end, I've made some suggestions, strong suggestions about a cap on financial aid or athletics. And I think if you go that and you get the membership thinking that way with the greater good, you can accomplish a lot, because at the end of the day, the whole concept of quote-unquote recruiting comes down to a player being able to afford to go to school there, a very good athlete. And if they can't afford it, they're not going. And if you put a cap on financial aid, I think it does solve a lot of the problem personally. But in my estimation, I've been around all these schools, as you know, for all these years. It's not like all these schools were taking advantage of allowing kids in for a little or nothing. It's just a few maybe at most, and you know that because the school you were at didn't do that, Mount Carmel Academy.
Oh, absolutely not.
Archbishop Chappelle doesn't do that.
Well, and if you look at the financial structure, especially of the Catholic schools, I mean, you can't let tons of kids in for free. It's just, it's not set up that way.
You're not going to make it.
There's a financial gap between what the tuition is and what it costs for a kid to go there to begin with. So
without a doubt,
you're already having to raise money for kids who are already going there and paying tuition. So
and there are really different levels of the select schools too. You've got St. Martin's, and you've got Country Day, you've got Newman, that have very large enrollment figures in terms of the cost per student, but they're outstanding institutions. You have the parochial schools that are all in the same range financially, and then you have the other privates. There's a pop-up. Shortstop out, center fielder in, shortstop stays with it, battling the sun. Martin makes the catch and retires the outfield to slide. It's out number 1, and Stein will bat. But they're all different levels of tuition. So that's why I think you put a percentage on it with that. And athletics only. I'm not talking about a cap across the board. Only in athletics, as we all know.
Right.
Most of the focus when it comes to that is football and basketball on the boys' side. That's kind of where the focus has been in that regard. But that's my take. But you've been on both sides, so you understand it better than anybody. Swing and a miss, 0-1. And, of course, I've been close to David Beaudry for years, and he still works at your school as well. And he's been on both sides of it, and we've had that discussion about it. And you get a deep appreciation for what people think and why they feel the way they feel if you educate yourself.
And I've been able to see both sides of it. It's certainly, and it's a...
Popped him up. Right side second baseman out and can't handle it. That'll be an error. On to second base goes Stein running hard. So she was running it out and gets to second as a result of the error.
Good job by Stein not giving up on the play. And second baseman had a nice beat on it. It looks like she kind of got caught up in the sun again, which earlier with the play in right field, we were talking about her having to use her glove to kind of block the sun. I think it just kind of got to her there. But back to that point again, I guess my biggest thing is I wish we could work out a way that's beneficial to all kids. At the end of the day, that's what we're all in this for. And and I understand there's some politics involved and there's some finances involved, but at the end of the day, we just want what's best for kids.
Pitch is high to Ali Dolmang, who has a base hit and a run scored, 1 for 3. Trying to add to a 5-0 lead, a base hit would accomplish that.
Top of the order up could create a little bit more momentum for Chappelle again and create even a little more distance for him.
Changeup sits high, so it's 2 balls and no strikes.
See a little bit of fatigue kicking in here, just on that little changeup. She held on just a little too long. Just a couple of the at bats have gotten that pitch count up a little bit too high for her right now. It seems like
2-0, and that is high. So it's 3 balls and no strikes. Captain Shreve had come in playing well. They'd won 6 of 7 coming into this one. Last playoff win was in 2019 when they beat Central in the opening round.
Yeah, and I remember that game. That was a big win for them. Again, they had just kind of started to coach's program had just kind of started to take shape, and again, it's just when you're coming out of that area with the district they're in, and you're trying to rebuild the program, it takes some time, and again, you can kind of see it now. They're in the regional round for the first time in a while. I see good things coming from Captain Shreve, especially with this young lineup here. They can swing the bat. It's
just center for Guy. She's been really busy. Makes the catch here. And that's on number 2.
That young lady's going to sleep very well tonight. Long bus ride home, too. So.
Like, what did I do wrong, man? All these balls coming out here. Here's Delaney Trosclair's doubled and homered. Popped out to short. We'll bat with 2 outs.
Number 18, Delaney Trosclair.
Delaney will stand in.
Delaney also the number 2 pitcher for Chappelle.
And a strike call.
And a very effective pitcher at that. I was able to see her at the West Bank Bridge Park at the Hahnville tournament. They played Hahnville, and unfortunately Kayla had rolled her ankle in a prior game, and on the side of caution, coach was sitting her out. So, but Delaney got the start that day and pitched a really nice game against the Hahnville Tigers in a good battle.
Missing away, it's 1-1. Yep, Delaney Trosclair 6-1 on the year on the bump. Or in the circle, as it were, not the bump. Different game. Get it straight. Circles changed over the years, too. Pitchers moved back a little bit, changed the game a little bit as well.
It did. It definitely added a more offensive component to it.
That's down a ball. I mean, look, we were talking about Patterson, some of the great pitchers over the years. And, I mean, they could just shut down anybody that wasn't real good. They could just take the bats out of their hands, and that's not the case now.
That was one of the biggest adjustments I had to make as a coach about halfway through my career, when basically right around the time when I left Mount Carmel and went to Hahnville. That was right when the pitching distance was moved. You really, you had to become a much more aggressive-minded offensive coach. The conservative offensive philosophy, was a big thing back then in the early 2000s and into 2010. But again, once that pitch and rubber was moved back, you really had to kind of rethink your strategy a little bit.
So what happened there was Delaney thought she had walked, but it was only ball 3. That's what I had, keeping my balls and strikes here. So it's like, okay, you want me to go back? I'll hit. Here we go. And she hits it toward third. That's going to be a base hit, and a run's going to score. So she's happy to hit. Now she's on to second. Really good hustle play.
Heads-up play. That's just a ball player and reading the ball and knowing what to do. Again, that comes from preparation by the player and coaching and practice, because that ball's in front of her. If by the time the first base coach would tell her to go, it'd be too late. She read that ball right when she hit first base, and she didn't hesitate. So.
Well, she hustles into a double, as it turns out, her second double of the game. They go with a home run. She's got 3 RBI. I don't know. You might have to talk to her, too.
Yeah,
so
not a bad day at the plate.
And Kayla Giardina, who you got to talk to, will bat. Giardina, single and a double. Why not? 2 RBIs. And she's pitched a no-hitter to this point and fouls it off. It's no balls and 1 strike. We'll send Jerry down at the end of this half inning. And so you ought to do it there. Just turn it on and get it there, and you're good. And get you right on the Chappelle side there, away from the cinder blocks, facing us, and we'll get you going there. And you know what to ask the coach and these players, because you know this game better than I do.
Absolutely.
High and away for a ball, 1-1.
I didn't mean I absolutely know it better than you do.
You do know it.
You absolutely know what I'd like to ask.
You absolutely know it better than I do. So, that goes without saying. I work to educate myself, and I love the game and love watching it. But you were an integral part of this game for so long. There's the 1-1 pitch. Down and in, it's 2-1. I was all over Timmy's game, so...
Yeah, those were some fun times watching Tim play, too.
Yeah, I got a phone call when I was walking up here from Cazo earlier today, so just reminiscing about that 97 team.
They had some players then. That was a pleasure to make all those games. I was still in college then, so yep. I was able to catch all the games. Wasn't tied down by work or family at that point yet, so it was a pleasure watching Tim all those years.
Strike called. It's 2-2.
as competitive as we were growing up, that just pushed me to be a better coach. I was like, all right, well, if you're going to be this good, I got to be this good at something else. So.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, off speed, fly ball. Guess where? Center field to Guy. She's got that one too, and a good job by Hendrick to get out of a jam here as Chappelle is able to plate another run. They do it on a hit with an error, and they strand one. So last chance coming for Captain Shreve as we head to the 7th inning. It's a 6-0 lead for the Chipmunks. Let you put in a final thought, then we'll send you down and be ready to get them right away. So is it done? I mean, just based on what you've seen so far.
I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to just dominant pitching. I think Captain Shreve is a solid team. Kayla Giardina was just a little too much today. Again, just moving the ball very well. Her changeup was there when she needed it. Not that she needed it that often. The Roz ball just dominated early. And since then, her velocity and just mixing her pitches has just worked so well for them. Just to, rack up a lot of strikeouts. I think what they've had to make maybe 1 or 2 defensive plays the whole game. I mean, that takes so much pressure off your defense when they're under the rest of the whole game. You combine that with some really, really good hitting. And I'm impressed with the Chappelle's base running, to be honest with you. Just taking those extra bases and just doing the little things to really kind of build on the lead that they had. Again, this could be a 2-0 game if they're not really heads up on the bases. So, again, just a complete effort by Chappelle today. No disrespect to Captain Shreve. I think this is just Chappelle's day, and they're the better team today.
All right, we'll send Jerry down now and get him in position to interview Coach O'Brien, and we'll try to get both Jardine and Trosclair. So, yeah, you can just take that one off and head on down with the mic. And what you do is you're going to see me as soon as I give you the hand cue. You're good to go, and just face the camera. There you go, and then make sure that's on green when you turn it on, and you're good to go. So turn it off for now, and then make sure it's on green, and you're good. You got it. Yeah, that's right. Delaney Trosclair, Kayla Giardina, Scott O'Brien. All right, here we go in the 7th, and right now the drama is whether or not Giardina can pitch the no-hitter. First pitch, and that is a strike called. It is 0-1 to Baudouin, who's batted twice, struck out twice. 14 strikeouts for Giardina. She's allowed no hits and a swing and a miss, and it is 0-2. Continues to dominate. No balls, 2 strikes. Kayla ready, and this one is high and away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Here it is. It's down. So the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 10 hits for the Chipmunks. Two. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. That's number 15. And 2 more outs to get. Baudouin gone, and here's Nora Falcon, who's popped to first and struck out.
Now batting number 2, Nora Falcon.
There's Falcon. From the right side. Pitch on the way. And that's a fast one that just missed inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a pop foul right side. That will be out of play. Count is even at a ball and a strike. Giardina with a single, a double, 2 RBIs at the plate. 15 strikeouts, no hits allowed on the mound. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. One, 2, down and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 now. Next plane overhead, and the next pitch, and a swing and a miss. She struck her out. Number 16 for Giardina. 1 more to get. And here is Ella Hendrick. Hendrick with 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. 1 more for Giardina. And it misses just down, 1-0 to Hendrick. And hitter. So a base runner, only the second of the game, as Hendrick trots to first with 2 outs. The other was via a walk. And Giardina had faced the minimum up until then because the other base runner was erased on a caught stealing. So won't face the minimum. And we'll get a courtesy runner at first base as well. And that's going to be Brianna Jones running at first base. So Jones will run at first with 2 outs, and Aubrey Townsend, the cleanup hitter, will bat.
Aubrey Townsend.
Townsend's batted twice, fanned twice. Down a ball, 1-0. Now we're getting a visit to the mound here. Just a maintenance visit, I'm sure. Visit now just about over. And now we're ready to resume play. A ball and no strikes. Runner at first, 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Giardina pitches, and it is down for a ball, and it's 2-0. Struck out the first 2, hit a batter, and now 2 balls and no strikes. And Aubrey Townsend. The 2-0. Swinging a foul. It's 2-1. Aubrey Townsend thinking, I'm going to keep this alive. I'm going to wreck this no-hitter. She's working hard to do so. It's 2-1. Right-handed hitter back in. 2-1. And a ball high and away. So it is 3-1. Hitters have not had more than a base runner in an inning. They've only had 2 in the game. Now a 3-1 count to Townsend with the runner first and 2 outs. Stands in, 3-1 pitch, ball 4 high. So it's 2 on, 2 outs. This one's not over. Second walk issued by Giardina. And now Jada Martin will bat. She struck out in line to second. Coach Fan visiting with the home plate umpire. Might get another runner. We'll see. That's going to be the case. Waiting for that to take place. And that's going to be Kennedy Dixon to run at first base. Dixon.
Brings to the plate number 30, Jada Martin.
Here's Jada Martin with 2 on, 2 outs. And a ball high, 1-0. So suddenly Giardina struggling a bit with the command. The 1-0. That's high and away, and it's 2-0. So she's kind of lost location here. 1 more out to get. Kicks around at the dirt. Ponders the circumstance. Last one's never easy to get, is it? 2 balls and no strikes. And delivers a hot one for a strike. It's 2-1. Martin was taking, as you might imagine. 2 balls and a strike. Here it comes, and a swing and a foul back. And now the Chipmunks 1 strike away from the quarterfinals, and Giardina 1 strike away from a no-hitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. 6-0 Chappelle on top. Giardina, the sign ready. Here it is. And she just missed the inside edge. She thought she had it, but no call. And now it is 3-2. Wow, that was close. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Giardina ready and delivers, and a swing and a foul back as Martin battles to stay alive. Pitch count rising here for Kayla Giardina. Holding at 3-2. Here it is. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded, and this becomes much more interesting as Megan Hill comes to the plate. So hit batter, 2 consecutive walks, and we're going to get a batter here, a pinch hitter. That's going to be Addison Smith.
Number 27,
Addison Smith will bat for Megan Hill. So Smith to the plate to hit for Hill, who was 0 for 2. With the bases loaded, 2 outs, Madison Smith batting at .244, no homers and 8 driven in. She will stand in from the right side. First one on the way. And a swing and a foul back to the screen. It's 0-1. Smith went up hacking after the hit batsman and 2 walks. No balls and a strike. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Giardina with the 0-1, and that is a fastball. Ball inside, a little high. Close, but nothing. It's 1-1. They're starting to lay off of those pitches up. Are the Gators? Here's the 1-1. That is a strike called. It is 1-2. Once again, Chipmunks are a strike away, and so is Giardina. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here in the 7th inning, Giardina ready and pitching. And she missed inside. And it's 2-2. Smith battling here. Laying off tough pitches, the 2-2. And a swing and a roller to first is foul. Just foul. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Epistato fielded it, but it was just foul. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a foul. Boy, what a battle here. Smith stays alive, and she'll see the 7th pitch of the at-bat here. On 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gators fighting hard here. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. And there it is, folks. A no-hitter for Kayla Giardina. She no-hits the Gators. 6-0 is the final score here in the regional round of the Select 1 Division Playoffs. What a performance by Kayla Giardina. She finishes this game with 17 strikeouts in pitching the no-hitter here this afternoon. Just a brilliant performance by Giardina as Chappelle wins it and advances with the 6-0 win. Totals of the game, Chipmunks 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors, 6 left on base. Captain Shreve, no runs, no hits, 3 errors, 3 left on base. The winning pitcher is Kayla Giardina. She is 19-3 with the win. And the loser, Ella Hendrick, she drops to 12-6 with the defeat here today. And players meet at the center of the field, and then we'll get the winning coach and the stars of the game as the 2 teams convene together. And we'll get them a little bit closer in so we can get the camera shot there. Let me know if you got them, Robbie. Is that good? All right, as soon as Jerry's ready to go, we'll go down to him, and Jerry will visit with Coach Scott O'Brien first, and then we'll talk to the players. So, plane flying over here, but Jerry, you can take it away whenever you're ready. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead, Jerry.
So, Ken, I'm here with the winning coach here, Scott O'Brien from Archbishop Chappelle. We'll get a couple of his key players over here in a second, but just quarterfinals. How's it feel?
It feels really good. I think this is my first home playoff game since we took over here. Very excited for the players and obviously the school. So I'm really happy for everybody.
And Coach, just being an old Catholic League guy myself all those years, just looking around, look at this facility and the fans and just everything, just how far the Catholic League and Chappelle softball has come. What does that mean to you to have built something like this?
For me, I'm happy for the players and the school and our district. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Catholic League and all of the coaches in it. Great ball, and this is amazing what we've built here, and we're really excited about the community of softball.
Well, congratulations. You got to that coveted quarterfinal game, man. Unbelievable.
We're going to give it a shot.
Great job, Coach. Let's get a couple of your players over here.
Kayla and Delaney.
How you doing, Kayla?
Good.
You face the camera a little bit there. So, 14 strikeout performance. Not a bad day for a pitcher in the second round of the playoffs. What was your mindset going into the game today?
Just hit my spots, because I know if I hit my spots, they're not going to hit it, and if they do hit it, we have a defense to back me up.
Very, very good, and it looked like your team came ready to play today. What are your thoughts going into the next round, quarterfinals?
We just have to stay focused, keep hitting the ball. Pitchers got to keep hitting the spots and just follow through, and we'll be fine.
I noticed you had that off-speed pitch in your back pocket. You went to it a little bit, not too much because you didn't have to, but is that something was that part of a strategy, or was that just based on what the coach was calling?
Yes, sir. When you're throwing consistent balls off the plate at the same speed, if they start catching up to it and knowing where you're going, an off-speed pitch just throws them off balance and keeps them on their toes.
Very good, very good. Another junior, good career ahead of her, Coach.
Thank you.
Let's get the star hitter of the game here, Delaney Trosclair. 3 for 4, a home run, 3 RBIs. How does it feel?
It feels great. My mindset going into the game was just do everything I've been practicing the whole season, and just everything's the same. Don't change my mindset for anything.
It looked like on that first double, they came inside on you. You got the bat out in front and really made them pay for it. And then they kind of came back with the same pitch the next time, and you really made them pay. What was your thought? Were you looking for that pitch?
I was looking for that pitch. I studied the at-bats before me, and I was like, I knew that pitch was coming, so I was just prepared for it.
Absolutely. And I've got to ask this. Your pitcher, who was outstanding today, they got a few on in the last inning, which was very unlikely. I saw you go walk out and talk to your teammate. To me, that's a great sign of leadership. What words did you have for her?
I said, it's all right. Just shake it off. You're going to get the next one. That's how I am when I pitch in the circle. Kayla always comes up to me and settles me down when I need it. So that's what the teammate's all about, teamwork.
True great team. Congratulations. Good luck in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Congratulations.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much. Great job, and just a terrific performance by the Chappelle Chipmunks here this afternoon. They defeat Captain Shreve by the score of 6-0, and the Chipmunks, as a result, go to 26-5 on the season. The Gators complete their fine season at 21-8. Chappelle will move on, and the Chipmunks await the winner of Northwood and Pineville. And, of course, that all will determine where the game will be played. If Pineville wins, then the Chipmunks will be heading to Central Louisiana. If Northwood wins, then another Shreveport team will be heading down here to Kenner. So we'll await the result. Of course, we'll have all the results at CrescentCitySports.com as well with our softball report later on tonight. But just a brilliant performance here today. Chappelle got 3 runs in the third inning after the game was scoreless into the bottom of the third inning. And it was Delaney Trosclair breaking the scoreless game with a home run. Then you had Kayla Giardina with a base hit, a pair of errors. Kelsey Schmidt then delivered a single, and Mia Impastato drove in a run with a double, stole another run with good base running, did the Chipmunks to take a 3-0 lead. In the fourth inning, they added 2 more runs on a walk to Addie Stein, a base hit by Ali Domain, and then a double by Kayla Giardina. To help herself, Giardina coming through with that double, and she had a 2 RBI game, and the Chipmunks increased their lead in the process with both runs scoring there to 5-0. And then the Chipmunks got their final run in the 6th inning. Addie Stein reaching on an error. Delaney Trosclair would double her home. An unearned run, but it counted, and that accounted for the final score of 6-0. Chappelle defeating Captain Shreve here this evening. As mentioned, Chappelle moves on to the quarterfinals to play the winner of Pineville and Northwood. Want to thank our friends at Captain Shreve and all those watching in Shreveport today. Such great people and a wonderful school, and so many friends in that area for me as well. Distinguished themselves very well today and in the entire season for that matter. Again, want to thank Scott O'Brien here at Archbishop Chappelle, our athletic director, Dale LaCour as well, for allowing us to be here today. And all the great folks out here at Butch Dewey, because, again, they accommodate us in great fashion and allowed us to do this and set us up in a really good setup. Kept us cool in the air condition and everything else, so we were deeply appreciative of that. It just made things very, very easy for us. And what turned out to be a easy does it performance by Kayla Giardina. She showed just how good she is and just what she's capable of doing here today. Mentioned she had a no-hitter earlier this year. Got herself another one here today with a 17 strikeout performance. And keep in mind, in a 7-inning game, there's only 21 outs that are recorded, and she recorded 17 of those outs via strikeout. So you can't do much more than that, which she did in this one. So Chappelle wins it by the score of 6-0. Our thanks to Jerry Nugent for a job well done. Want to thank Chip Merritt as well, and thanks to Robbie Utzler. And tomorrow night on Crescent City Sports, it's our first ever live stream of track and field with the District 9 5A Championship from Tad Gormley Stadium. Our coverage begins just before 6 p.m. The Catholic League decides its track and field champions live tomorrow night, only on Crescent City Sports, and always free. Once again here this afternoon, our final score, Archbishop Chappelle with a 6-0 victory over Captain Shreve. Safe travels to our friends from Shreveport heading back home, and of course, safe travels to everyone else departing here today as well. Continue to support your favorite schools and continue to support softball in all sports as we do at Crescent City Sports. Now, this is Ken Trahan saying thank you for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.